In Luke chapter 19, verses 1 through 10, we're told of the story of Zacchaeus. And there we're told that he was a chief tax collector and wealthy. In those days, tax collectors were not looked upon favorably, and especially in this context. You see, what the Romans would do is they would elect a tax collector from the people whom the taxes had to be collected from. And so Zacchaeus was a Jew working for the oppressive Roman regime in order to collect taxes from his own people for the people that were oppressing his people. And on top of that, tax collectors were known to take a little extra money than the money that they were supposed to for the taxes. And this is how they became wealthy. He must have heard about this man named Jesus, and as Jesus is walking through the town, Zacchaeus says, I need to go see who this is, what this is about. Why is everyone seeking after this Jesus? And so as he fights his way through the crowd, he finds himself unable to see Jesus himself. And so he climbs up what was probably a smallish tree in that kind of land in the Middle East, and gets a vantage point where he can see Jesus. And now that he's at a place where he could see Jesus, Jesus passes by and stops. And he says, I have to come to your house today. You see, Zacchaeus wasn't expecting this to happen today. He just wanted to get a glimpse of Jesus. But Jesus is the one that really makes the first move and says, I'm coming to your house today. Yes, Zacchaeus, your house. Even though you're a sinner, even though no one wants to be around you, I want to come to your house. And Zacchaeus, surprised by this, the Bible says, he was glad and he welcomed him to come. And then he says this to Jesus, Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. You see what Zacchaeus' response was to the love of Jesus? It wasn't that Jesus was going to only come to his house after he had confessed his sin and paid restitution for all that he had stolen from other people. His action that's Jesus' action of coming to Zacchaeus and accepting him as he was, caused a reaction from Zacchaeus to have compassion on those whom were poor, on those whom he had cheated. His heart was changed, not as an action of himself, but a reaction to the love of Christ. And there's a lesson for us today. No matter where you may have been, you can know that your God is a God who moves first. Even when others would run away, when others would see your condition and see your situation and run away from you, Christ is one who comes running towards you. That is the unfailing love that the Bible talks about. And that love is what causes a change in a man's heart, even a man like Zacchaeus. Even someone like you. Can you realize that in the Christian faith, what Christians do are reaction to the action of God's love? And when we realize that, pride in our hearts will fade away. Arrogance in our minds will go away. Because we know that we are only being moved because of what has been done toward us, what God has done for you. Even in your life, the Bible says, I stand at the door and knock, and if anyone would come and hear me, I will come and sup with him, have dinner with you. Don't you want to have dinner with Jesus? Zacchaeus sure did. Jesus wants to do the same with you. Realize that as we accept him into our lives, into our hearts, into the temple of our hearts, that it is he who works within us to do good. May your life be one that is lived as a reaction to the first action of Christ, which is his love.